You're listening to Headcanon Graps. This is a new series today called Graps in Theory as a playoff of games in theory, where we want to focus on what are the potential outcomes from a wrestling storyline that we are presented with. And so I'm looking at the potential attackers for who took out Jade today. And this is going to be the first of many videos. We're going to have a couple other videos popping out this week, one for the New Day and one for the Women's IC tournament. So look out for those as well. But let's get started. And to be honest, the first person that came to mind is Bailey. I'm looking at Bailey for multiple reasons. I see if I take out Jade, Jade's a possible person that in this women's US tournament that I'm in currently, she's going to be a problem that for me down the line. I need to get rid of her before she advances in the tournament and I have to face her one on one. But by me also doing that, I take out a bigger problem for me down the line. I can beat Chelsea Green. I know that. I can beat Blair Davenport. I know that. The most important truth I know is I can't beat Bianca. And she only has beaten Bianca with the help of damage control. Outside of that, if you go back to when Bianca first beat Sasha at WrestleMania 37, Bianca spent the whole summer beating Bailey. And then it led to a Hell in a Cell where then Bailey got beat again. And then Bailey got injured, went away, and then Bailey came back to form damage control after SummerSlam 2023. And so now you look at EO and Dakota with her. She got one victory at one point over Bianca, and I believe that was in a tag match. Outside of that, ladder matches, any other match she had, they had matches where Bianca could have been protected in the loss. Bailey still lost anyway. And Bailey knows that now going to this US title tournament. So now she's taking her biggest threats that she has off the table. And these are also threats to her that don't really view her as a friend. They don't view her as anything special or anything. They shoo her away most times when she's around Naomi because they just want to hang out with Naomi. And so, yeah, I'm going to take out Jade so that way that distracts Bianca. Bianca is now focused on her friend. She leaves, and now this clears the door for me to beat Chelsea and advance in the tournament and then win the title. So, I do believe we could be moving towards a Bailey final with her winning the US title. And if she wins that US title, I think Jade comes back to then reveal, hey, you were the attacker and you turned on me. And let's be honest at this point, Bailey's Bailey's babyface run, it saddens me to say it. It's not lighting the world on fire. It's not lighting anybody on fire. And her storyline, even as champion, and her defenses, they weren't really that compelling this time around. And so the chase was good, the build was good, and her being there live for her Royal Rumble win, that was such a victory. And you could see the seeds of her being a babyface, even being implanted in damage control in that 2023 Survivor Series War Games match that they had. But her babyface turn has just not lasted that long, and so I think it's time to possibly turn her heel again. And so her winning that U.S. title tournament, establishing that belt, and then possibly leading to Bailey and Jade at WrestleMania, that could be a way to go. Where Bailey finally gets a win over Bianca, gets away from Bianca, defends her U.S. title some more, and then faces Jade and loses it to Jade then. That's a possibility. Also, a possibility due to the US title being in play, I think our next person is going to be Piper Niven. And I think it's Piper doing it for the sake of Chelsea. By attacking Jade that night, Piper allowed, Piper provided a distraction that got Bianca out of there and allowed Chelsea to win that match and advance in the tournament. Now, we haven't seen the next match with her and Bailey, and so if Piper was to come out and play an interest with Bailey, this could also be Revenge for Piper because she is 0-2 against Bailey, and one of those losses for the WWE Championship was in her home country, in front of her family. And so, with those embarrassing losses, she's definitely gonna want some revenge and definitely want a chance to get back at Bailey. But also, she can protect her friend, give her friend an opportunity to win this tournament, and basically be her shield. Now, what does this mean in the bigger picture for Jade? I think this leads to a feud between Piper and Jade. That's to build Jade up because I think in the end, I have talked about it on our WrestleMania preview video on the WrestleHook channel, but I really think Jade's WrestleMania match is going to be her and Nia, and they're going to give her a spot where she can basically have that Hogan Andre moment with Nia, since she did that super cool power spot in the Rumble earlier this year with Nia. Give them a more full-fledged match that allows Jade to shine as a single star, allows Nia to also shine as a giant, but then breaks off Jade from Bianca, allowing Bianca to possibly go face Rhea at WrestleMania. So I think that's where this option comes, and I think the only thing that strengthens this option the most is those secondary outcomes. And I only say that because I don't fully believe that Piper is going to get a huge push out of this move, but it's more meant to prolong Jade and her story and get her ready for WrestleMania alongside protecting her with this injury that she has in real life. And so that's where I think Piper comes into play. And I don't think that's as strong of an option, just like I don't think the next option is that strong, but I definitely see where there's options and opportunities for it, and it's Naomi. And Naomi being the person who attacks Jade and ends up beating her just out of jealousy. It's almost the Kendrick Lamar, and it's not the same as Kendrick Lamar and Drake and J. Cole, but they reference the big three and they call it themselves the big three. Well, Naomi's had a lot of downfalls lately with no fault of her own, challenging Nia and are challenging for opportunities to fight Nia and everybody else being able to beat her. And knowing that Bailey has a checkered history and that the others don't trust Bailey and whatnot, Naomi could have jumped Jade before for the same reasons that she needed to and that Bailey needed to. Hey, we need to get Bianca out the picture because we don't want to face Bianca or Jade later down the line. I've trained with them, I know what they can do. So Naomi takes out Jade behind the scenes. Bianca gets distracted, she leaves, and then allows somebody else to go forward in the tournament. And maybe Naomi's banking on the fact that she'll get past Stratton and everybody. She'll get to the finals, and this time when she faces Bailey, she won't make the same mistake twice that she did in the last one-on-one match with Bailey. And Naomi actually pulls out the win, gets the US title, and after she gets the US title, it's revealed that hey, she's the attacker for Jade. And then this culminates with a feud with Jade and Naomi at WrestleMania, possibly for the US title, with Naomi basically having to run from them and basically pulling her own it's ain't no big three, it's the big me moment with Jade and Bianca. I like it because it plays on fears that Bianca has of Bailey, and so by Naomi using those fears of her, if you pay attention, Bailey was introduced into the War Games match by Naomi. Naomi was one of the first people to rush in and be like, "Oh, what's going on?" But then once Jade left in the ambulance, and it was the next time we saw them, she was like, "Hey, hey, hey, that we'll get to that, but we actually got to focus on this now." And so there's enough there that in seeds planted that I could see how Naomi could be a possibility for this, and maybe it helps her build a heel voice and maybe it connects stronger with the fans. But I also think she's been connecting really good as a babyface lately. And I want her to keep riding this wave and keep having these matches with folks. And I want to see if she can become a genuine, like, strong baby face on SmackDown. And I think her destiny is to beat Nia Jax for the WWE Women's Championship. And then I also think Tiffany Stratton's going to cash in immediately after, Randy Orton style, on Daniel Bryan and take the title right off of Naomi. And I don't know if Naomi gets the moment the chase to WrestleMania for that. I like to hope so. I would love to see Charlotte Flair just do something else at WrestleMania besides a world title, but everybody seems to be talking to me about Charlotte in the WWE title. So I would love to see a different direction, and I would love to see if this could actually work and if this is feasible. But when it comes to the big three and the big me moment, I really think it's saved for our last person, and our last person is Bianca. And people might be like, "Hey, how could it be Bianca? Bianca, why would she cost herself the U.S. title tournament?" And I look at the situation like this: Bianca feels that she has lost a lot of time tagging and hanging around Jade, and so once then the live conversation actually happened, paranoia, insecurity started to grow and fester inside of Bianca. Maybe Jade is better than me. Maybe she is a threat. Maybe I do need to be worried about her. Okay, well, if I take her out, because eventually I'll have to face her possibly in this tournament, if she's as good as I am, we'll both advance and we'll both get to the end of this tournament, and then I'm going to have to fight my partner. Well, I don't want to fight my partner. Let me attack her behind the scenes. Yeah, it will cost somebody for war games. I'm sure we'll be able to get somebody. And there's enough people around here, whether it's Naya's team that we could blame it on, or whether it's Bailey I can blame it on. I can find enough people to point the blame somewhere else to hide it from me because I am the smartest superstar on the roster. And so her actually using her brains and trying to be crafty around this because of her insecurities of, is Jade better than me? And this builds us to a Jade and Bianca match at WrestleMania. I could see Jade easily petitioning down the road to get a US title shot and actually winning the title off the original champion. And so if that happens, I can then see Bianca holding that US title belt and that being the thing that her and Jade feud over when it comes to WrestleMania in Vegas, and them giving some importance to that belt. And it being Bianca wanting to get back to being a single star, also wanting to get back to being the best. Bianca used to pick up Nia and throw Nia, and then you see Jade come in and do it easier. There's been times that Jade has picked up people and shown strength on bigger levels than Bianca. That's now making her not feel like she is the strongest. And so when she's not feeling like she is the actual EST in a situation, now she's trying to think her way to get to that point now. And I can see that being a part of her eventual heel turn. I know she's almost like the Cena of the women's division when it comes to being a baby face and the kids' reactions and whatnot. But I would just love to see a different spin on her character. And so I I was originally against Bianca because why would you cost yourself the US title shot? But I mean, it's Bianca. She knows she'll get a shot again. But what she's really trying to do is get rid of the anchor that's around her. And so she's trying to get rid of Jade and also get rid of those insecurities. And if Jade's out, I can go establish myself, win some more gold. I'll be a double champ. Maybe I'll have to relinquish the women's tag titles, but I'll get my singles victories back in. I'm already one of the most winningest superstars on the roster because they put up that chart of her having like 23 or 24 wins this year. And so Bianca just is chasing more victories and more goals, and she could have had way more wins, in her opinion, probably, if she didn't have Jade holding her back or holding her down. And so, what do you all think about this? Who do you think out of these four is the best contender to be the person who attacked Jade? Is it somebody I'm not thinking of? Is it somebody who I didn't name on here? Is it going to be an NXT call up? What are you all thinking? Comment below. Tell me your best suggestion. I want to hear it. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. I have a subscriber goal of 30 I'm trying to reach, so please help me get there. And look out later this week for those other videos I talked about. So there's going to be one on the New Day, and there's going to be one on the Women's IC title tournament on Raw, and booking it forward from here with the only person advancing in the tournament so far being Dakota Kai. And so giving you my fantasy booking on that and who I think could benefit the most from winning the Women's IC title. So take a look out for that. Hit subscribe, hit that bell notification, and you'll know the second those videos drop this week. But thank you for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.